Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another live demo with Etchr. My name is Noelia. I will be your host today. And as usual, if you can hear us and you can see us, please type llama in the chat because that just lets me know that we are officially live. I have with me Nina, who will be teaching us a lot of wonderful tips and tricks about florals. This is a live demonstration of her work, and we will be talking a little bit more about her upcoming mini workshop towards the end of the demonstration. In the mini workshop, you'll really be able to learn from her. Pay attention to the chat. I'll be dropping some important links there, as well as how to ask questions, because this is your opportunity to ask questions and pick at Nina's brain. Nina, could you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and let us know what we're doing today?
Okay, hello Noelia, and hi everyone. Really glad to see you here at this live demo. I will show you just several artworks in watercolor loose style, which I really like and enjoy. And also I'm a big fan of vintage colors. And actually that is going to be today's topic of our live demo. That is going to be color mixing and especially color mixing of vintage colors. These are colors which are quite tender, subtle, pastel, dreamy colors. So that's what we are going to focus today. And our main work is going to be this style. If you feel like 3 flowers is too much, then you can go just for 1 flower. And actually, let's start. I would ask you to prepare the following colors. That is magenta, new gamboge, warm shade of yellow, Hansa yellow light, that is cool shade of yellow, emerald green, or you can check maybe you have some viridian green, this kind of shade of green, and phthalo blue. So I will show you materials which I'm going to use, and while you're preparing your colors, I will use just several brushes. That is number 6. Number 8, that is an imitation of squirrel's hair, so that just pick up some brushes which keep really well water. Then I have this brush, mop brush of also squirrel's hair, that is 2 zeros, and brush number 10, that is also synthetic one, which is imitates squirrel's hair. And I will use one synthetic brush, which is angled. That is like a size about 1 centimeter wide, and we will need it also to add some definition to our petals. And at the end, we will add some line work. I will use a golden brush, that is pen touch. But also, if you don't have this one, you can go for some black or any gel pen. And then let's get started. First, like this, can you? Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
Like you can see. And here my color palette. If you have any question, just ask, and I will be really happy to answer and to help you so that you would enjoy this demo as much as I do. Okay, so one of the things that we will need for our flowers is some concentrated color for the flower center. I will use magenta and emerald green. These 2 colors, they are really beautiful. And if you still haven't tested color mixes with these 2 colors, I highly suggest you. Okay, so I'm taking my brush. Also, I will use 2 jars of water, one for cleaning my brush, and then the clean one for keeping my brush clean. And as well, I will need a paper towel. Okay, so then let's start. First, we are preparing some really concentrated color. That is magenta. And a bit of emerald green. So making it really dark and really concentrated.
So not much water.
In this one, you will see that not really a lot of water, and I will show you the color. So here is the color. So it's quite a beautiful, rich violet, let's say like this. And then I'm taking another brush. And with another brush, this color is going to be very watery. So you can see that I start just with water. And for this color mixture, I will use the following colors: magenta, phthalo blue, and Hansa yellow light. You will see that these are primary colors, and actually that is going to be our main focus of this live demo, is color mixes of 3 colors. That is the most challenging, and that is like the most beautiful part of watercolors, that it's amazing how just from 3 colors you can create unlimited amount of really beautiful pastel vintage shades. So let's try, but it's really important, especially if you are a beginner, to use enough water. You see, I have here quite big paddle, and then on the tip of my brush, I start to add the color. So here is my magenta, and you see that it starts to get a bit like pinkish. This. Then I add tiny amount of Hansa yellow light, or any cool shade of yellow which you have, and it starts to turn into beige color. And I add a bit of phthalo blue. So, and the idea of these flowers which we are going to make is actually to practice these color mixes. You can see that now my color mix, and I'm just, we're going to paint 5 petal flowers in loose style, just the way you feel. Try to focus on color mixing and relax with flowers. Okay, so I'm starting with the first petal, free form. Okay, and you see that it's beautiful shade of gray. Now let's keep on practicing with color mixing, and let's add tiny amount of magenta, and this gray turns into pinkish one. So that is our second petal. Let's add a bit more of yellow. That is another shade, you can see, and just making the shapes of petals. Let's add a bit of phthalo blue, a bit more phthalo blue, and you can see that now my color mix it turned more bluish. Let's add here. What is the beauty of these color mixes? First, you can see that, for example, this shade is quite warm, while you add more blue, then you get a cooler shade of blue of the color, no? And like this, you can play with different shades and see the differences. The same 3 colors, but many different shades which you can get. Okay, then I will add a bit more of magenta. Here, and we have got another beautiful color. Now for the flower center, I will use this concentrated color, and you will see that you will need to move quite quickly in order to create this beautiful watercolor bleeds. That if not, you just mix a bit more of this color, and you start to add a bit more. So, while I was talking, that it has got dry a bit. That is also one of the important things, that it's important to use or to work really fast. If you use cellulose paper, another tip, you can use first water layer. I will show you now, for example, with the next one. You can use just a normal brush with clean water or water brush, and that is another tips that you can make just already the petals, and then you introduce the color. That is in case if you are using not really good quality paper, but in my case, I'm using Etchr sketchbook with 100% cotton paper, which is just excellent for this kind of techniques. So, but if not, that you know there is this trick and the way how to paint faster and still keep on getting some beautiful watercolor bleeds. I am working with the same colors. So you can see that now I have added a bit more of yellow. And it starts bleeding. And a bit more of phthalo blue. Okay, so here we go with our second flower. And the dark flower center. So let's see with this one. This one we have moved a bit quicker, and it should be more bleeding effect.
Yeah.
So, and now let's place the third flower. The same colors. What you can do also that you can try to play that where, for example, if you have experienced some problems with this kind of really soft and diluted colors, try first with one color. For example, you take magenta and you add quite a lot of water and start making this color more diluted and more diluted. So that is also one of the ways how you can practice this kind of really soft and beautiful colors. Then you add yellow. And here you get this kind of, also it looks really nice if you leave some white areas. So also pay attention to this. And a bit more of phthalo blue. Yeah. And a bit more of magenta. So here we have our flowers ready. And just let's add. That is quite relaxing practice. I'm trying to do it a bit faster because we have limited amount of for this live demo, but I am trying also to transmit you as much as I can the idea. So for example, this one I have moved faster, and you can see that the result is really beautiful watercolor bleeds. So that is what we are aiming for.
Yeah. So I know we're focusing on color mixing today, right?
Yeah.
Why is color mixing important in the way you paint flowers?
Generally, color mixing gives you more freedom, and it makes more interesting and more unique your artworks because then you can create so interesting color mixes that would be really which would characterize your style, no? And you would be able to transmit more shades. It's like our world is full of millions of colors, no? And only with 3 colors, you can already create so many shades. And another thing that it can allow you to save on buying paints.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so next part, we are going to add, we will keep on practicing with color mixing, and we will add leaves to our flowers. For our leaves, we are going to use the following colors. That is also part color mixing. Magenta, a warm shade of yellow, in my case, that is New Gamboge. Cool shade, that is Hansa Yellow Light, and Emerald Green. So in this case, you may know that it works really well complementary colors. one of the things difficult, which was for me difficult to understand when I was a beginner, is how to use actually these complementary colors and for what they they are, no?
Mm-hmm.
That is our one of the beautiful things. I will show you in a moment that, for example, we will have a look at green, at the pair of green and red. And you can see that if you will take your different greens and will mix them with your different rose, pinks, and reds, you will be able to create really, really many beautiful shades of colors, which would be muted and very complex ones. So that's why complementary colors are very important, and it's really important to know how to use them. So let's put in practice our complementary colors now. And I will start with magenta. So this time we are going to mix two colors, like this base, the same emerald green. And then we start to get already some beautiful shades. It's quite watery, my ones. Here you can play actually, and that's what we are going to do. Just free form of your leaves. And then let's see what will happen if to this color we will add a bit of yellow, and we have got really beautiful beige color. So that's how you create this kind of really beautiful shades. And another thing to keep in mind that, for example, you can buy some similar shades, but usually they contain white pigment. So it means that they are opaque. And while you are mixing that, you won't get, as for example, considering the flowers, you know that petals, they are transparent. And if you use opaque colors, opaque paints for your petals, they won't be translucent and transparent as much as you would like, no? That's why
Right.
the way out is to know how to mix transparent color mixes.
Yeah. And that's why I guess it's so important to learn how you can mix your colors and what colors you can make from
Yeah,
mixing them, right?
yeah, because actually, even if you have only, I don't know, like a box of 6 colors or box of, I know, 24 colors, that is already quite many, no? But 6 colors, and you think, okay, and what will I paint with these 6 colors? But in fact, if you know how to mix your colors, you can create quite many, really many different things.
Yeah. And with what, 3, 4 colors that you have used, you've developed about 5 or 6 already?
Yeah, so actually here we're using, I still haven't used this warm shade of yellow. So at the moment we have used only 4 colors. And here you can add also some other shades to make it more interesting. And I will show you, okay, this is more like I have added magenta, and we can add several leaves more of magenta. And now I will show you more in also interesting part, how you can do. That is emerald green, yeah. And I will make it warmer. I add warm shade of yellow. In my case, that is new gamboge. And I'm getting here beautiful olive green. So let's make just several, a bit more of yellow to make it warmer. And here we can place several more of this kind of leaves. Yeah. And now to this, I will make a bit stronger this color. So that is the same emerald green with a warm shade of yellow. Here I have, yeah. And to this one, we can create new color by adding its complementary color. So here is the easiest way how to remember. That is our secondary colors, orange, green, violet. And then to orange would be complementary blue, to green, red, and to violet, yellow. In our case, we have got here green. So to this green, we will add a bit of red. In our case, that is magenta. And we will get a bit like muted. Just have a look at this color. So you can see it's more muted. And this is already more vintage color, which is used for painting vintage flowers. And that's how you get these kind of shades, by balancing them with their complementary colors. Here, and maybe. Okay, let's add some more shades because I think that I'm missing a bit more yellowish colors. So then let's create some leaves with yellow.
How do you know you're missing some yellowish colors?
Because I have used, for example, yellow here, you can see that in this shade, it's more like towards yellow. But if you will have a look at my leaves around, that while I was showing about greens, I have added quite many green ones, but that's also fine. And the yellow ones, warm shades, it's only this one, and this one. And I feel like I'm missing some more yellows because at the moment, dominant color around the flower starts to be green because it's first by tone, you can see this is more transparent ones and these ones are darker. So they are heavier. And that's why you can add more leaves, which would be as well as the same value, no, or a bit darker for more contrast, or a bit lighter.
Okay, so it's trying to find a balance between
Yeah.
the colors you're using.
Yeah. So here I will add several more, and for here. But usually these leaves are quite, they are really light, so they won't make, and once we will add more things, then they won't be so noticeable. So that's why don't worry, make them transparent. You can layer them in several rows, that's fine. Okay, and now let's make also several leaves, which would be more concentrated. The same, I will use warm shade of yellow, magenta, and this is really warm. For example, here we have got quite warm color. It turns more like towards, you can see that beautiful, for example, for autumn color palette.
Yes.
And let's add several leaves more. And you can see now that it starts to feel warmer because of this color which we have added. And this is our orange color. So actually we can balance it also with blue, or as we have limited our leaves to play with emerald green. Let's see what will happen if we will add emerald green. And we can get really beautiful. Okay, I am already here. You can see that it's another beautiful beige color. And it's very neutral color. So this kind of neutral colors, usually you cannot buy them, that you need to know how to mix them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important to know how to mix your colors. And you have seen that, for example, if you will see in my works this color, I think that you won't think that I have used emerald green in order to get this color. So that is the beauty of color mixing. It's really exciting.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. And we have people saying that Heather said, love these flowers, and RC said, love this great explanation of color mixing.
I'm really glad, and I hope that you are also practicing with me. Next part, let's add the background. For the background color, I will use some blue.
And right now you're just wetting the paper, right?
Yeah, so just making wet because I want that it would be quite soft introduction, like that it would be quite blurred, my background with the flowers. And I'm just making wet this area. And I will add now okay, I will use for my background one beautiful color which I really like. It's called cobalt turquoise. Generally, I like to use for my background some granulating colors so that they would create some texture. That's why up to you. You can choose this color. Here it's already not so much color mixing because in the background I'm trying to get more the textures or some kind of, I'm looking for these kind of things. Okay. And so also
Wow.
some splatters. I really like this color because it's really fresh. By the way, this color is opaque one. So that's why I wouldn't use it for color mixing. However, it also creates some beautiful color mixes. And you can use opaque colors in your color mixes for example, in the flowers, but for shadows. So that when you need some quite dense color, so that you don't need actually quite a lot of transparency in your shadows. And opaque colors could be a really good option. Then I will add another color, which is, it's called ultramarine turquoise. That is also some quite similar shade, but a bit different. And I add also in several areas. Mm-hmm. And then the final color, which I will use for my background, that is called Rose of Ultramarine. And this is very beautiful color because with water, once it will get dry, I hope you will see. And let me add a bit more. With water, because it is based on ultramarine blue, with water, it also first it splits into rose and blue, and second part that it creates a really beautiful granulation, and also it's really beautiful when you use it for backgrounds.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm excited to see it when it's dry.
Yeah, I also hope. It's more like I'm worrying whether this paper will have enough time to get dry in our short time of live demo.
I'm sure by the end of the Q&A it'll be practically dry.
Okay.
Quick question.
Mhm.
Could you remind us what kind of paper you are using?
Sorry. This one is a 100% cotton paper, and as I'm not mistaken, I think it's Fabriano, because this one is Etchr sketchbook.
Ah, yes. Is it the cold press or the hot press?
It's cold press. Why? Because I like for my watercolors texture, and this one it has beautiful texture. It's quite like when you touch it, it's quite rough, and also that this side is a bit smooth, because you know that cotton paper you can use from both sides, and
Mm-hmm.
to get the results would be the same perfect as from one side, the same as from the back side. So that's why this one is cotton paper, and it's really beautiful for all these different watermarks, for bleeding. Like, I'm really excited with this paper. And by the way, while we are talking, you can see this is already starts to happen, watercolor magic, and this is really, really exciting. Like, just have a look at these ones, that they are really, really beautiful. Let me also show you one more thing, that if you have, for example, really dense color in your background, this sometimes can happen also with beginners when you start and you still are afraid a bit to add sufficient water to your watercolors. What you can do is just to add some splatters with water, and it will create some areas which would be lighter, and then your background, it wouldn't be so dense, that it would be lighter and more airy. So that is the way, just with the water, and you make it like this, and you create, or even you can place your brush and create some kind of mark with water.
Wow, that's a really cool tip. I haven't seen that done before, I don't think, in one of our demos. Not that I have hosted, at least. Awesome.
Okay, so then our next part is going to be with angled brush. With angled brush, we will add some separation to our flowers. Let's add. We will mix the same colors which we have here. That was magenta, Hansa yellow light, and a bit of yellow blue. So this is, I have got, for example, here green color. In this case, you add a bit more of magenta. And then just add some separation for your petals. For this also, I will use my water brush, and then I make it just some soft edge. And then we just play. So here you add a bit more contrast to your flowers. You can define a bit more the shape. And I make it smooth with water. And that is also, you are playing with these three colors, but here you can see that my mixture is more concentrated. So it's already not so watery as I have used for creating the petals.
Why are you leaving a petal in between right now when you're working?
You mean this one, for example? What do you mean in between?
You don't work necessarily
I'm
to
just
the petal right next to it. You've
no,
jumped over
no,
one.
no, no, because I'm just jumping first different brush strokes. And for example, this one, you can see it's still wet. So while I'm working on other ones, this one is getting dry. So that is mainly to speed up my process.
Mm-hmm. And so that the colors don't mix where
Don't
you don't
blend,
want
because
them.
at this moment, I'm not looking for blending. I'm more looking, I need separation. So that's why this separation you can add only when you your first layer has got already dry. And then you can get with another brush and add this separation. So yeah, that is quite important. That first layer should be quite dry already. And that is up to you. You're just playing, but what you need to do is to separate your petals. So this probably, you can see that this I have got really like violet and really strong color. What shall I do? Is like, remember that our complementary colors, violet and yellow. So I'm just moving this yellow towards my violet. It's not enough. So I will add a bit more, and I have got already green here. Okay, so in this case, I add a bit of magenta, and here, yeah, I have got already some interesting shade. If it's too much color, you just remove with paper towel. And for here, for example, this really dark shade, I can add in the lower part, where usually there are more shadow. So here, and a bit more of this, so that it will be a bit more beautiful color. Okay, so we have almost finished with this part. A bit darker accents. So that is already, have a look at your work and see where you need more accents. For example, here and here.
We have a question from Ramona in the chat.
Yeah.
Do you make it more yellow or more blue for certain petals?
Because here it was my aim to show you as many color mixes as possible. And that's why it's what I have found would be the best way, that you will go and you will make each petal of different shade, and this it would be like more like more interesting the practice, because I mean, like, if you will make only one color, it won't be so interesting. And another thing, in the nature, if you will have a look, that there are many reflections from sky, from nearby other plants which are growing from grass. So there are many actually reflections in the same flower, in the same petals, and you may notice these different kind of shades: bluish, yellowish, violet, and so on. So that's why, that is the reason.
Okay, that makes sense. So because you previously mixed the different shades, you are still following those shades to add the contrast and the additional detail?
Yeah, so mainly I have been adding the same colors. So that is the same three color mixes. And the idea was that first, to show you that you can make a really light, transparent, using the same three colors. In our case, is aware these three colors. And by using these three colors, you can make so beautiful these pastel shades, which we have used for petals. And as well, you can create more concentrated these colors, which we have used in order to add more shadows to the flowers. Okay, so now is the final part and the most exciting one. I will try to zoom in. Okay. So that you would be able to see it.
Oh, I think I might need to remove the spotlight so that you can zoom in. So let me do that really quickly.
Okay.
Okay, try it now. Give it a go. And while you're zooming in, I will take this opportunity to let everybody know that I have dropped our feedback survey link in the chat. So if you have 2 minutes of your time, I would like to encourage you to fill it out. That way we can learn more about how much you are enjoying our demos and what we can do to continue bringing you content that you enjoy and artists that you enjoy. And I will spotlight it again because it looks amazing. Wow, it's
Okay.
beautiful, Nina.
Okay, so one more thing which I would like to show you, that even if you have very, very simple artwork, for example, here, you can play with colors and then you can add some line work, just extremely simple pattern, but it will create already some additional touch, no, to your artwork. So you can use just a black liner, or you can use a gel pen or some golden one. Okay, in my case, I will use this golden, and I will add just a bit of some fine details. And also you will see how it will change, because by adding line work, actually we are adding more definition to our loose flowers, because another thing for loose style is that in some areas you need, just in several areas you need to add some more definition, otherwise it would be everything very blurred, no? And that for eye it would be quite complicated to focus. That's why it's better if you have several areas where you they are more concentrated, and also several areas which are quite blurred. And then for our mind, no, and for our eyes, the idea is that they start to travel from the side which is blurred to the side which is which has more definition. So, and we are just adding some folds to our petals and some separation. So that is up to you. I'm making quite fast. If it would be just, I would be painting alone and so on, that for sure that would be more like meditative. And I would take my time. And this is because this already final details, it's really, you can just take your time and to play, because this part is already really relaxing.
Yeah, I bet it is. Do you mind if I start asking you a few questions as you finish up those details?
Yeah, I think that would be nice, that we can take the advantage while I'm doing this part. Then also, meanwhile, I could reply the questions if there are any.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so first question from Ramona. Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Awesome.
From
Thank you. And Mercedes is asking, what brand of watercolors have you used?
Okay, I have used, let me show you the colors and then it would be easier. So this is my Tello Blue, Hansa Yellow Light, and New Gamboge. These colors are from Daniel Smith, and the same my colors Rose of Ultramarine and Ultramarine Turquoise. This from Daniel Smith, and the rest of my colors they are Emerald Green, Magenta, and Cobalt Turquoise. They are from Rosa Gallery. That is Ukrainian brand of paints.
Okay, thank you. So you don't stick to one brand, you kind of jump around?
It's more like I like really a lot the texture of the watercolors. For example, these ones I really like because they are soft. And another thing what I like is those paints which split in two. And those paints which are like create some beautiful granulation. You can see here, this is really beautiful area, this part. So that's why mainly I'm looking more for colors and some special textures in the paints, but not actually like one brand or another one.
Okay. By the way, Blanca said very nice detail in the line work. And Esther earlier said hi, aunt, and now she said están súper guapas las flores. So they are very beautiful. And Nina, you speak Spanish because you're currently living in Spain, right?
Yeah. So that's why if there are any questions in Spanish, I also can reply. Si alguien tiene preguntas en español, también contesto.
I haven't seen them in Spanish yet. We'll probably have to translate them so that the rest of our audience can understand too. But yeah. And if you have more questions for Nina, we have a few more minutes, so feel free to type them in the chat. If you could as well take 1 to 2 minutes to fill out our feedback survey, we really appreciate it. And we really take a look into everybody's comments in those feedback forms. And once we get closer to the end of this demo, I will let Nina tell you all about her upcoming mini workshop on September 18th. That's happening at 10 a.m. New York time. Oh, that's beautiful. And that's what we're working on, right, for the mini workshop?
Yeah, so that is like if you feel like excited about color mixing, then I invite you to our like further step that is a bit deeper study of color mixing and how to create this kind of vintage painting with these dreamy backgrounds, and also create more watercolor bleeds. So this we will work in more detail in our mini workshop.
Awesome. So we will be covering a little bit more about color mixing like we did today, right? And
Yeah,
then,
but more in more details, and it's more like step by step, because this, for example, it was aimed more that you already know quite a lot about color mixing. And so for this one, you need already to have some idea. I hope that from today's live demo, you have got that idea, necessary one. And till the mini workshop, you could practice with color mixing and then to paint together these vintage flowers.
awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much. We have a few more questions that have popped in. I don't know if you're done. It looks kind of done, but you're the
You can
artist.
add actually, so that is already, I'm adding some leaves, some golden details, line work. That is like, actually, mainly it's done. So then it's more like to balance it and to add something, some more details. So, but actually, yeah, the main part, what we have focused on color mixing is done.
Okay, so if you want to keep adding details to your leaves, I can ask you questions while you
Yeah,
do
for sure.
it. Okay, because
Yeah.
we have a few more questions that popped in. Um, Conme was asking, does it make it different to use 100% cotton paper?
Yeah, it makes a difference. Uh, you will notice here, I don't have that watercolor paper to show you, but it's really noticeable. For example, with that cellulose paper, it's more complicated to keep it wet enough, like long enough, while you are adding other shades and then create this kind of color blending. But for practicing, you can practice with cellulose paper, and then once you will be happy, or the opposite, if you are unhappy with your results on cellulose paper, just try on a cotton one, and then you will see whether there is any difference or not.
Okay, and our very last question for today. How long have you been painting with watercolor?
I have been painting since 2015. So, but for me, it took really long. First, I have been learning many different techniques. Because first, when you start, I think painting with watercolors, you try to get to reach more really botanical looks and looks which would be really similar to reality. And then once you reach that technique and you start to think like, this is not so interesting already so much, because it's more like a copy or looks more like photo. And then you start to look for different style. And for me, I have found loose style is something which is really unique, and you can transmit your vision, your color mixes. You can play more with watercolors because these kind of things, they really mm, create something unique, which you cannot really make two artworks so that they would be similar.
Mhm. Okay, awesome. That's awesome.
Mm.
And sadly, our time is up today. But we really hope you enjoyed this Etchr Studio demo today. And Nina, thank you so, so much for spending your Sunday afternoon, evening
Yeah.
with us today. And for everyone who has joined us, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you can continue to join us for future live demos. Don't forget to check out Nina's Instagram account, and I will be dropping that handle in the chat in a little bit. And don't forget, tell us how much you enjoyed our demo today with the feedback survey. And don't forget to sign up for Nina's upcoming mini workshop on September 18th, talking again about vintage florals, color mixing, and watercolor techniques. Um, and other than that, I think we are done. Oh, don't forget to, if you have followed along, use the hashtag at your studio and share your paintings with us. And Nina, could they tag you too?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I wanted to add. That if you have painted with me, that please do not hesitate to tag me, and I would be more than happy to leave you my feedback and also to support you in your art journey. And for those with whom we will meet on a mini workshop, that I'm really looking forward to our new color mixing practice, and I wish you inspiration and just get it inspired and to keep on playing with your colors, because watercolors are amazing. And start with these 5 ones and you will see how many discoveries you will make.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so
And thank
much,
you,
Nina.
Noelia, for this really beautiful live demo.
Thank you. It was all you. And thank you all Llama family who joined us and our new Llama family members. We will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.
Bye.